I'm here with Padre Andreas Hadji-Savi, who's going to tell us his life story. Andrea, where were you born and your upbringing?
I was actually brought in Nicosia because I had a brother who died. He had heart problem, and then a sister. Well, the brother was
6 months.
What was his name? Sodiris. Then we had a sister. Ioanna. Was it Ioanna? And then I was not well. The children both died. They had heart problems. They died when they were about 80.
6 to 8 months old.
6 to 8 months old. Then I was not well, and my mother gave me birth in Nicosia, and I was there in Nicosia for
a year.
For over a year. I was looked after by 2 people. One of them was Maria Kutsofta, George Kutsofta's auntie, the singer.
Yeah. Your parents were from Agathuda, weren't they?
My
originally?
parents were from Agathuda, yes.
Yeah. And you spent your younger life, obviously, in Nicosia. How long were you in Nicosia for, Andrea?
Oh my gosh. I spent
1 year.
Over a year.
Because you were ill.
Nearly 2 years.
And then you went back to Agathu, or did you
they
come
were going to call me, my name wasn't going to be Andreas. It was going to be Savas, really. Or Sotiris, but I am the only Andrea in about 400 years.
What, within your family?
Yes, within my family. We checked our family records and things.
Right. And why were you called Andrea?
They named me Andrea in honor of Saint Andreas. So that Saint Andreas would, because my mother had asked Saint Andreas to help me, to give me life and to support me.
So you started off with a very hard upbringing, Andrea. From there, where did you go? You went back to Agathu, you stayed in Nicosia, you came to London?
No, we went to Agathu because my mother was not very well. And then in 1960, she had cancer, she was going to die, so we had to come to England.
And you came in how old were you in 1960 when you came to England?
8.
I was about nearly 8.
Yeah, 8 years old.
I was born
1952.
And when you came to London, what schools did you go to? Where did you live?
We lived in, what do they call it? Chalk Farm.
Yeah, and you attended what secondary? Remember the secondary?
We attended a primary school near St Andrews.
Oh no, All Saints.
Across, Oil St Andrews.
Yeah, but
All
Saints.
All Saints, are you there?
Ayibandis.
And then I went to
Haverstock.
Yeah, before Haverstock I went for a couple of weeks in...
No, he went back to
near King's Cross. What's the school in King's Cross?
We don't know, we couldn't find it out.
There's a school in King's Cross.
And then you went to Haverstock, did you say?
I went to Haverstock, yes.
Right. And from Haverstock, where did you go to? You went to university?
I went to university, yes.
Which university was that?
I went to
Hull University.
Hull.
And when you were at Hull University, what were you studying?
I studied economics.
And I believe I've been told by your family, when you were studying up there, you were even invited to meet the Queen.
Yes. I met both the Queen, but I also had lunch with the Queen Mother. She invited me, we were 1 of 10. The Queen was different attitude, you know. She would say hello.
Yeah.
But she didn't have, the Queen Mother was a different quality.
She actually invited you to lunch?
Yeah, she invited her to was that the
Senate. There was 10 people selected.
What's it called?
The Senate of students.
No, yeah, but where she lived, it was in down
Kensington Palace?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, what was it
Windsor,
called?
was it Windsor?
Clarence House.
Was it it?
Clarence House.
Clarence House.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean,
And
you
we
went
for
there
lunch.
with another group of students.
There
They
were
were
about 10 of
honouring
us,
you.
about 10 of us in total, in
Yeah.
the whole of the UK.
Well, that's quite an achievement in itself. I mean, from university, obviously you accomplished quite a bit in economics, and for you to actually meet the Queen and Mother and be honoured by her and actually invite you to lunch, you must have been very good at your
We had a
university.
good, actually a fantastic lunch, because she asked me what I was studying. I said economics, and she goes, "Oh, wonderful. Next time I'll have to charge you." She tied, this time she says, she was joking, prepared, so she hadn't prepared the lunch. She was amazing. The Queen Mother was an amazing lady, very friendly, very down to earth. She was, when I say amazing, really, really amazing lady.
But then from there, I mean, I've spoken to your family and friends. They all tell me you were very successful at university and they had high hopes of you going into the economic field. But then you decided to follow the church.
Yes.
What made you do that?
Because my parents were very poor. We had a lot of poverty in England when we came. And it appeared to me that life is more important than just money. So that we should do something more. You will see in a moment. My son will show you some things. And I believe that we should be there to help people.
Well, that is what you've done most of your life.
And also my wife, we became friends, and her attitude, you were 8 years old. How old were you?
18.
18. She was one of 18. One of 8.
Yeah. Why did you become
Sorry.
a priest? The question is, why did you become a priest?
I became a priest because it appeared to me. I decided that you should help people and do things with people. That's what life should be about.
And when did you meet Maria? Was it at this time in your life?
We met, I was 23. And you were about
18.
You were 18, 19? 18?
Yeah.
She was one of 18.
I mean, you since then you've had children. How many children and grandchildren?
I've got 4 children. I have 2 daughters. They are twins. They are both solicitors. And I have 2 sons. Stavros is one of my sons. He's
Teacher.
he's a head teacher, senior head teacher.
And you now have grandchildren as well.
I have 5 grandchildren. Yes.
And then when you went into the church, I mean, you first started at which church?
I first started in St. Demetrios
What, in Edmonton?
in Edmonton
Yeah.
for 2 years. And then I went to St. Anargiri. The Archbishop asked me to go to St. Anargiri because the reason was St. Anargiri had problems at the time.
Is that the church in Gospel Oak?
Yes,
Right.
was below. And the Archbishop insisted that I go to him after 2 years in Edmonton. You must come and go and help. And I went to, and I applied to the government, and they gave us, no, it wasn't St. Anargiri.
Yeah, that was after.
Sorry, it was afterwards.
You did a dinner and dance.
We did a dinner and dance.
Yeah, in 1981.
Yes.
And who came? Who came to that dinner and dance?
Spurs came.
That was for the Anglo-Gathol.
Oh, was that the Anglo-Agathon Association? Because you were a secretary at the time, weren't you?
Yes.
And Douglas Alexiou, who's also from Agathon, was the chairman of Spurs at the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that must have been a big thing for Tottenham footballers to turn
Very
up at
big.
your dinner and
They
dance.
came to the dance.
Was this straight after the FA Cup final?
Yeah, it was.
When they beat Coventry?
It was in. Yeah.
So
It was-
Ardiles and Villa must have been two of the players there.
Oh yeah, a lot of the players. came.
Yeah.
But it was 1991.
81, I think.
Hold on.
Might have been 81. Because they had Ardiles there, they had
Yeah.
Villa.
Yeah.
I think maybe even Glenn Hoddle.
No, wait a minute.
1981 they came.
Oh, you got pictures of it there?
Yeah.
This is the Anglo-Gathol Society. It's Birkinshaw.
Ah. As you can see there, you can see the photo there. That's Father Andrea with Keith Birkinshaw, the manager of Tottenham
Yes.
at the time, and that's the actual FA Cup there.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is there.
And the Archbishop came.
No, is that there?
Here we have a photo of Steve Perryman, who was the captain of Tottenham at the time, again with Father Andrea. You've met some famous people in your time, Father.
Yeah.
Yes. But there were people that were important to me.
He did
Like
another
Oh, that's a good photo. Who's that?
charity.
charity, a lot of charity photos. That's the Archbishop. When we did
That's the manager,
the Spurs, it was in
At the Piccadilly Hotel
Piccadilly Hotel,
in 1981.
1981.
What photo's that one, Father? Is that what he's...
That's when
Who's-
the Spurs won the.
Yeah, can I have a look at that one?
Please.
No, that one there. Let's have a look. Let me
Oh,
have a
this is a
look.
different one. This is.
Yeah, who's in that photo? Let me have a look.
Someone Greek.
That's Chris Waddle, isn't it?
Is that how it looks like?
Yes. Yes.
It is, yeah.
And another photo, there's Chris Waddle there. With Steve Perryman. So all the famous Tottenham players at the dinner and dance.
Yes.
Picture of him with the Queen Mum. You know this.
And this is one photo that will be always in your memory. That's Father Andreas with the Queen Mother. It shows you the achievements that Father Andreas had before he became a priest. I mean, he's very well known within the community. I mean, he's helped a lot of people. He's married a lot of people. He's christened a lot of people. I mean, I couldn't imagine how many hundreds you've christened and married. Would you, at a rough guess, do you know how many people you've married and christened?
Married over 500,
No, thousands.
Thousands.
thousands. And
Prisons more.
christened, married, funerals, thousands.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I've seen some of the messages you received in the past. Loads of people, even from people living in Cyprus and...
Yes, Cyprus, Greece, now that I'm ill,
Yeah.
people have been phoning from Cyprus, Greece.
Yeah.
America,
I am touched.
Australia.
Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable.
I mean, what is when you were young? Would you have always dreamed of going into the church? Was that your dream, or it just happened?
It was something that appealed to me
Yeah,
to help people,
He always wanted to be one.
because I believed in helping people and doing the best that you can to support people.
I mean, your memory's not so good at the moment, but before I
Unfortunately not.
remember, you used to remember everybody. You know, from years, you even remembered their names.
Yes. Εδώ χωριανό μου, from half from my village.
Oh, that's Douglas Alexiou.
Alexiou,
Yeah. I mean, and Father Andreas showed me a photo there. That's Douglas Alexiou, was chairman of Spurs.
Yes.
with him there.
Yes.
He also helped with young guys, I thought, yeah?
Father, I mean, what is some of the great, I mean, you've told us some of the greatest moments, more great moments of your life. Obviously, you've had great moments with your family, bringing up your family.
Spurs, the greatest moment. When I was young, we were at Spurs. And it's not, Spurs was not like now. The players were very friendly, talking to us. Yeah, they would treat you, what's his name? Who was a great player? Several.
Yeah, well, you had Glenn Hoddle.
Who was it? We had the
Who was your idol?
we had
Delis.
we had the guy who ran the, he was the manager there.
Bill Nicholson.
Bill Nicholson.
Yeah, he was a great man. Yeah.
Bill Nicholson, and some of the players, they would come and treat the youngsters and buy them or give their players. Can you imagine their players? Bread and food.
Really? What,
Yeah.
sweets?
And sweets, and they fed them with. Can you imagine your what's his name? The great.
Your Uncle Tony had a restaurant now.
Your?
Your Uncle Tony.
My uncle had. Well, he was a. Yes, for the restaurant.
Also remember someone from Agathur, he had a barber shop there.
Yes.
He had I think his name was Tony as well, and he used to
Yes.
cut their hair,
Yes. Yes.
you know.
But they would treat. They would come in. What's his name? The great famous player in.
Jimmy
Spurs?
Greaves.
Jimmy Greaves. Jimmy Greaves.
He was one of the greats.
But he would sit and talk to the youngsters.
Really?
Can you imagine? And he would buy you. They would eat. They would have to play football, and they would
Come and eat afterwards.
eat.
Food? English breakfast?
Bacon.
Burgers?
Things that you buy something with food. If you went to the shop now and bought
Sausage rolls.
sausage roll or
You'd have a bacon butty,
Yeah.
bacon roll.
can you imagine, they would even be seen
Yeah.
that alive now.
So I get the impression you're a Tottenham fan then.
Yes, always.
But well, I've known you a long time, Father Andrea. I always regarded your second home was St John the Baptist.
Yes.
You know, you knew a lot of people from there,
The
and that's
mosque.
where you were mainly based as well.
Yes.
How long were you there for?
I was there from 1996.
92.
92.
So he's been there 92. What's
We
that, 20
had-
years?
We had
29 years.
Yeah.
we had
Adelianda was there.
run.
He wants
The
to-
church was run. If you went to the church to do Christian things, it was full of
The roof, you're talking about the roof.
roof
You
mold
helped
and
with the sorting out the roof.
The roof.
yes.
Yeah,
And
you raised a lot of money for
the
that.
Archbishop Gregorios, he said to me that the present who made me the priest was Methodius. He had come from Africa,
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia.
That's right. Yeah, they were from Greece. He was based in Africa at the
Yes.
time. So you were at St John's for 30 years.
Yes, over.
Yeah.
30.
Well, you know a lot of people, and they know you.
And there was runnings. There was.
Yeah, the roof.
If you went to the roof,
That's with the roof.
the roof in
The roof was leaking in the
The roof
church.
was leaking in the church.
So he raised money for it, and they dubbed it.
and I raised 700,000.
No.
No,
We raised over 300,000
over 300.
Well, that's a lot of money.
with the British government,
200,000.
the English government.
Yeah.
Methodius, one Methodius, Gregorius came in. In fact,
Yeah.
the current president and
You're
his
not gonna
nephew.
say- You're not going to say nothing now.
What I'm saying is, they didn't want to
No.
produce this money. And Gregorius asked me, he says, you have to get this money from the government.
Yeah, which you did.
And I did.
And the church is now, is very well established, the
Yeah.
church. I mean, I remember years ago, obviously times have changed, it was All Saints the main church, but obviously now everyone started moving more and more north. St. John the Baptist became more popular.
It was the most, it had become the most popular church in the UK.
Yeah,
It was unbelievable, the number, the thousands. And we had, on Sundays, nearly 2,000 people.
200.
really, as
More-
much as that.
200?
2000, yeah.
No,
No.
not now. Now, 500, 600, 700.
No, there's
Oh,
a
there.
lot of people.
There, 2,000.
In fact, I think St. John the Baptist is maybe the biggest church,
Yes,
you know, in size.
it was.
Yeah. I mean, just a quick roundup. I mean, what was about your life and everything? What do you remember most?
It was working with people, helping with people. I was the first person to start. We did the first church, Children in Need.
We raised money for the children in need.
It was the first.
Children with Down syndrome and everything. And he raised a lot of money for William Harvey School. This is the mayor of
Kiddies.
Mikidis, and Father was in a society that raised money there.
That's a picture of Father Andreas again when they started the Children in Need campaign.
Yes.
Well, the Cypriot
It was
on the Cypriot on the far left is Mindikis, who was the first. Mikidis, isn't it?
Mikidis.
Was the first
Mikidis, Greek mayor.
Cypriot mayor
Yeah.
in England, in the UK. He was the Haringey Council mayor for a few years.
Yes.
I mean, from there, also, he progressed to being the Radio Marathon,
Yes.
you know, which is,
Yeah,
I mean, Father, you're giving us a quick roundup, well, not quick, quite a detailed roundup of your family, your life, etc. I mean, what message have you got for the community?
to always think of others. And never be selfish. And never look for things. Always look what you can give people. Always. That's the most important thing.
Well, thank you very much
Why?
for that
If
message.
you look at this poor lady, this was she was one of the children that were children in need. The joy that it brought her and the value, unbelievable things.
So you've done quite a few, not just the church, educational wise, you've done very well. Through the church, you gave a good service. Children in need. I can go on and on.
Yeah. With
I mean, Father Andres showed me some photos here.
what was his name? He was the
High Commissioner
High
Banayidis.
Commissioner for Banayidis.
Where's this?
This was in Holloway
What, in Holloway Road?
Road.
One of the people there in the back, the person just in front of the TV,
Yeah.
was the High Commissioner at the time, Banayidis.
The first time he got involved with Greek Cypriots in need.
I'm glad I thought that was on there.
Yes.
I mean, you were very active with Agalo and Gathor Association as well. I mean, you were one of the founders of their football
Look how many
team.
people
Yes.
go to all the parties that he used to do.
I mean, look at that. There's hundreds of people there. See, in the old days, the village associations used to have massive dues. As you can see there, what venue was that?
Bloomsbury.
I mean, there's hundreds of people there.
Yes.
Not thousands.
We had times when we had I had dinner dances at
This is when
What's
they
the limit?
raised money for the North Middlesex Hospital. For
We raised-
heartbeat machines.
the first money ever raised by Greeks.
This is another occasion where they raised money for North Middlesex Hospital.
For the
As you can see, Father Andreas is presenting a cheque to a representative of the hospital.
And this is what they got.
for £3,000.
What's that?
That's the heartbeat machines that they bought for the hospital.
And from that cheque, this is what they bought. They bought heartbeat machines for North Middlesex Hospital.